I have to say, Mike sent a comment in our chat while we were watching it. We normally send comments back and forth. Two happened. One, Mike said, mine is the Asuka of this show, pending backstory. We'll get into the comment if you change that later. Sal was instantly at the end. F that cliffhanger. I'm sorry that I lied. I forgot. In the 4th episode, they fight their first Imperial Arms user. They introduced them to. I didn't realize it until my roommate explained it to me, or I should say, Crow explained it to me. He's like, "Who is this serial killer All Might looking mother?"
Oh my! Honestly, yeah, it gave me All Might vibes.
When you see him in the light in the next episode, you see his full face. It's much worse.
Oh God!
You can see minus the like long juts of hair. It's real close. But yeah, before we get into stuff, I forgot to ask this last time. Favorite moments, Mike? We'll start with you.
From the previous episode?
Yeah, for the episode we just watched. No, it's all right. We did the previous one. We can just do this one.
Favorite from this is the kill shot.
The kill shot, yeah.
That's one. The other is just Tatsumi's reaction to what ultimately turned out to be a day off.
Yeah. Sal, go ahead.
Most of my faves are the same as his, and I like when we got a bit of her backstory.
Mm-hmm. She's one of the characters where it's like this. I say it. I'm gonna say it a lot. This show understands the archetypes they're giving their characters and aren't ignoring them. Like they understand that mine is meant to be annoying at first, and they're not unashamed of it. And so you got some. And I mentioned last time how Bulat has got some Kamina in him. You just got it. He's literally asked him to call him handsome or bro.
Yep.
And he barely ever calls him Bulat. He calls him bro the entire time. And it's a very Kamina-esque Simone relationship. And I love that. That was
I like when he magically dreamed about bro. I was like, now I see why you want me to change my answer.
That's why I'm like, just wait. You got some moments that are going to make you question it. Because you had that. You had him walking in on mine half naked. All this other stuff. And he's still got to train under all the other girls yet. So you've got time. But
I'm sticking with my answer, by the way.
You're sticking with Akame?
There are rules.
There are rules. Okay. All right. We'll get there. Oh, this is going to be so much fun. All right.
The whole time I was like, no wonder why he could say I could change my answer.
Bulat is
because you know I lean towards stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
That's like,
but Bulat is just ridiculous. Bulat is the definite. Bulat also has a bit of Liron in him. Where he's
I can see it.
He's just like, so I'm going to make you feel really awkward because I think it's funny. But he's a lot more innocent about it. He's like, that's with all your burning spirit and passion. But okay, so we got some explanation for some things, and one you got was for Akame's katana. Do you agree when I said that is probably one of the most OP weapons in all of anime?
Yep.
All it has to do is touch you. If it makes contact with your skin, you're dead.
You're like poison.
Yeah, I should say if it makes a laceration on your skin, you're dead. I was just like, how do you lose fights with that? And then they bring up things later where I was just like, you know what? Nice. That's incredibly OP on the characters that it works on. Nice.
Mm-hmm. It is OP, but at least it has an explanation. It's not just like, oh, I'm that good with a sword.
Or I'm the main character, so I have to be OP.
Exactly. That's like another thing with Sword Art. It's OP.
Don't
But anyway, yeah, I believe they go into more detail exactly like what components make up the Imperial Arm. Well, they're called Imperial Arms. In the anime, they're called Taigus. I have no idea why they changed it for this, because that's in both translations. In the English, in the dub, and in the sub. I'm not exactly sure why they changed that, but it's whatever. And you learn more about it in the next episode of how they got made, but they go into more detail of like the ingredients of what made each one in episodes learning later. And it's really creative how they do them, at least in my opinion. And The one that I like the explanation the most of like how it gets more powerful because it is kind of weird for a sniper is Pumpkin, where she's literally
Yeah.
if she's in more danger, her shots get more powerful.
Oh,
That freaking gun gets ridiculous proportions of just you're in a different anime sometimes when that thing goes off. It's
oh, to quote
ridiculous.
Helsing on Bridge, bitches loves cannons.
They do. Yes.
Literally
And
sums up the weapon.
it does, exactly. It is a great cannon that's got multiple uses, and bitches do love cannons. Since it's been owned by 2 women. And so I had one thing that, again, they treat this more like not a hardcore assassin school where it's more like a family, how literally the boss punks Tatsumi into waking up mine. It was like, Shale's like, I didn't know that was a rule. That's because it isn't.
I was gonna say that is probably one of my other favorite moments where, you know, the boss and the other girl, they know they
Not
know
to wake her.
they're basically just saying this to fuck with him.
Exactly. And it's great. They never try to not have levity in an all-around dark show as it progresses. And like I said earlier, so remember when I said that, by the way, man, the Capitol goes out of their way to be like, we're evil. We have 2 different possible rape accusations on Imperial members in one episode.
Jesus.
And an execution going on like not.
Yeah.
Oh.
As I was just watching, I'm like, yeah, I get it. The Empire's evil, or the Capitol's evil. We keep going. I'm like, yeah, they're evil. Just like eventually, but just like there's no pause. We were just like, yeah, these people need to die. It's bad. It's corrupted to the core. One other thing that the show does, and they only do it twice to my knowledge. Like I said, I have not finished the manga completely. You get to meet the quote unquote source of evil in the show in this episode, and it's the child emperor and the minister.
Oh my god. Okay. That whole scene with the minister was like, oh, don't worry, I'll take good care of your wife. I was like, no.
That's probably the sleaziest moment in the episode without actually seeing anything, just the way he's describing
it. Like, I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, that he's no good. He is the first of 2 characters, like I said, in the show where they blatantly label him as what the opposite of what he is. The guy's name is Minister Honest.
Oh.
Wow.
It was
The
just
poor
like
child.
that's on the nose. Okay. But yeah, they and the shadow government with like going behind the child, I thought was a really good idea. And it's just it's weird to say that this is just the tip of the iceberg for how crappy the Empire is. And when you meet the quote unquote main villain of the show who you have not met yet, like Honest is basically kind of the main villain, but he doesn't
He's not the true
fight,
villain.
really. He's not the true villain that you deal with. Like, he's the guy they ultimately have to take out to fix everything, but the main person that they have conflicts with has not been introduced yet. And you get more worse stuff with her somehow. Like, yeah, it's the character's name literally in English translates to "I am a sadist."
Okay.
Could not be more on the nose if they tried.
Like, I kind of feel bad for the kid. Like, I guess pretty much get thrown into that position a bit, like not knowing.
Yeah, and it's also one of the most like, hey, do you think this, like, you take the character out of the anime and place him in front of a group of like 6-year-old kids where it's like, all right, class, do you think this guy's evil or he's good? You see overweight man chomping on pieces of raw meat in the middle.
Pretty much. I was like, am I supposed to hate this child?
Yeah, and it's like, it reminds me of like an evil version setup of, and I'm not gonna be able to remember his name. In Zoid's Chaotic Century, there is a child emperor, but he's actually like a good emperor and like tries to make good decisions and like he doesn't have some evil dude behind him. And it reminds me of that a lot, because I'm just like, man, if the other version of you could meet you, he would smack you senseless. Man, if Zoids wasn't like 60 some episodes long. I consider it someday. It's just like Mike's favorite anime is Yu Yu Hakusho, and I'm like, we should really do that someday. And I looked at the episode count, and then I went, all right, so two other things, and I didn't mention it early enough, but like we mentioned in the last episode about how this show does not do backstories like Naruto, but it is not safe from every anime since then of Naruto running. It has it in spades in this show. They did it twice. It's just like, I love that's a thing that's in every anime now. If a character runs, they have to run with their hands behind their back for better wind resistance.
Yep.
They have to do the Naruto run.
I know.
Also, when the first time we see Ma using Pumpkin, she had like that scanner. I was like, what is this? Dragon Ball Z right now?
I was gonna point that out earlier, but
Dragon Ball Z.
And I gotta remember if she uses that in the rest of the show, and I don't think she does. I wonder if that was just a point blank DBZ reference because they happen all the time.
it could have been because this like the scout it looked almost identical.
It was literally the
Scouter.
same thing, just a different color.
Exactly, it's not orange or like red. I guess whatever the tint is. And then they show her later pulling off that shot on the dude miles away with no scope. So it obviously shows you didn't need to use the scouter. But yeah, the music in this anime is great. And one thing that they don't do often is like random sound cues. I thought it was really cool. And I didn't notice until the second time I watched it, how when Mine goes into complete concentration, that they drop all sound out of the episode to show that she's just like gone down her scope.
Heavy focus.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty cool. And I want to talk about more stuff with her later because she is very much a character that starts out as you hating her and then you end up loving her.
I never hated her. I loved her from day one.
Okay, some people started out as hating her, I should say. But yeah, Mine is something else. She's something else. But anyway, the other thing I was going to remember what I told you? Like, again, the show's very honest with when they do setups. Then I forgot just how blatantly obvious it was. It's just like, man, it feels like there's a story there. And now I'm going to tell you my backstory. I didn't even have to ask.
Like the setup.
They're fully aware of when they need to do lore dumps. They're like, he's training with this person today. And backstory coming in 3, 2.
I know you said the manga has more fourth wall breaks, but I can kind of feel them in the anime too.
Yeah.
There is moments where it's like they're borderline talking to you. And I suppose there is fourth wall breaks in this. It's just like that one in the manga where I talked about it. Like, this is the guy they talk about, by the way. The person that just got killed that was part of the minister's family. He was just like, what happened to him? He's like, yeah, he died back in chapter 2. So it's like, oh yeah. But yeah, so you get like a little bit of redemption with Mine to show that she's not quite as cold as what she has. I guess so. We've learned okay, so far we have Tatsumi's, Akame's, and Mine's backstories. I'll wait a little bit more before I ask that. I was gonna ask who you think has the most, I would say, sympathetic backstory. Best note backstory, kind of sympathetic backstory for the good reason of why they're doing this. But you learn a couple more in quick succession.
It's too early. It's too early to answer that now because we don't know everyone's deal yet.
Yeah.
But I can say of the 3, probably Akame, because she was pretty much born into
like forced to do it.
Yeah.
And Akame's, you still got a lot more to learn from. Akame's is, I don't.
Yeah, I feel that's just like the beginning.
Her title's in the name of the anime, for crying out loud. I shouldn't have to say
she's like, that's what I kind of like it. Like, it's like she's not the main character, but the show is named after her.
It is. This is not spoiling anything. This is the first, and I could be totally forgetting something. It's a really cool narrative hook where the show is about Akame through the lens of other people, specifically mostly Tatsumi. So I was just kind of like, you don't really directly hear from her most of the time. It's her responding to other people in conversations, and I'm like, huh. that's kind of cool for, a show that's titled her, because that's like, again, we both mentioned it, some weird sweater wearing weirdo comes walking up in a show called Akame Got Killed, where I'm like, what? But yeah, it works. And when again, with literalness, take a shot in the dark what Akame means, if you have any guess at all.
I'm going to assume it means like assassin or.
No, it means red eyes.
Oh,
Yeah.
red eye killer. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. And it's basically just that each title of the episode, and that's one thing I like about the episode titles, is that it literally means Akame kills. That's what the title means. And then each episode is kills blank, and it goes the whole way through, and you actually see her katana cut through the episode title as it comes through. I'm like, that's a really nice little touch. I like that.
Yeah.
All right, so now that we're starting to get a little bit of like actual plot stuff where they're leaving cliffhangers, are there any questions?
See, that's the thing.
I'm not
even
want to answer them.
I'm not even sure what to ask yet, except just what is going on with the guy at the end.
He is your first off random weirdo that you get to see, and he is your very first kind of
Bad guy
monster
you
of
have
the
to
week.
face.
Bad guy first to face, but
Okay.
the episode he's in is great for a lot of reasons. It is one of the most fan service episodes they ever do for like 2 seconds, and it also is what might be the most lore heavy episode in the entire show.
Huh.
But again, they dump 2 episodes worth of stuff in like 3 minutes, and they do it all well. This show is very good about telling you backstory, and I appreciate it. And again, if you guys like it, if you want to know backstory, there's a 10-issue manga about it. But yeah. And next Saturday, I can't come fast enough. I'm happy you guys are enjoying this as much as you are, because I was hoping that we were going to have some fun with this.
Yes. Because I did not like that cliffhanger.
Exactly.
With the discount or my with the evil anime angle at one point, I was like,
oh yeah,
that angle.
Yep, exactly. And he is the first Imperial arms user that they fight. I'll give you that much, because I screwed up the last time, and you get to learn a lot about them. And yeah, that dude is. But yeah, cool.
I'm bad with names. There's like our main character get like a new weapon, or he still uses that like sword.
Tatsumi, yeah, it's fine. I'm terrible with names as well. Like in the show, I had to watch it 2 times before I get to it. But yes, Tatsumi in. Hold on. I have all the episodes pulled up on Wikipedia right here.
Since like they're showing like everyone's like weapons, and like he's a part of them now, I feel like he needs an upgrade. Can his outfit get an upgrade?
I could tell you right now that he wears that sweater, jeans, and boots through the entire show. But for a small spoiler, within the first 10 episodes, he gets a new weapon.
Okay, I can work with that.
Yeah, I don't want to tell you the specific episodes and stuff like that, so you're not waiting like, this is the one. Within the first 10 episodes, he does get a new weapon, and it's awesome. And I know a spoiler from the manga where they do some unbelievable crap with how powerful he gets. That's different from this, but he still is awesome in this, because they obviously had 15 volumes of stuff that they did, and they only could pull 1 season off. But yeah, his weapon's great. And I cannot wait for you guys to get to see it. So, anyway, any other questions?
I think I'm good for now. Just so far, I'm liking the tone and just the style of the series.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm here for it.
Absolutely. I love one thing that Crow pointed out when he was watching it. He loves the random moments where like they just dip the quality for random moments, like when you have Tatsumi turn into like the chibi version of himself when he's like screaming at at mine.
Or Akame whenever like she she turned into I don't know if you guys are familiar with the new series Comey Can't Communicate, but anytime like her
like
her
like that
eyes,
type of expression. Yeah, I
yeah,
know.
Oh yeah, the like blank stare and her like eyes go white. Yeah, there's a bit of that. Yeah, I was gonna say you guys could talk a lot for anime. So she keeps up a lot more than I do. But all right,
Cries in behind on anime.
hey, you keep tracking enough. You're one person that I was openly like, we need to watch all of JoJo, and she's like, I need to watch other stuff, but I'll still do that.
Yes, because it's JoJo.
It is exactly.
When you know, eventually we'll watch all parts of JoJo.
Yeah,
Eventually.
And now that it's on Netflix, we can do
It's all
those
on
watch
Netflix.
party. We could do those watch
all
party
on
things where we can actually see it at the same time if they still do that. I don't know if they still do.
They better.
Like, for those who don't know, we'll pull the curtain behind me, her, and an admin crow of a Ruby group used to like stream it over this. Like, we all have it. It's just that we were watching it at the same time. Yeah, we can't do
It was
that
so
anymore. Because now they have the blocker to where you can't watch it. I was just like, we're all watching it at the same time over our own TVs, and it's just like,
It was just chaos.
It's just chaos. And we'll figure something out, even if we just got to watch it and do screens or whatever. But yeah, anyway, so glad you guys are having fun with this. We're in 16th of the way through the show. 24 episodes total.
We're barely scratching the surface.
Yes, but hey, we're getting there. It flies by. I tell you, once you get to about halfway, a little bit before halfway through the show just, the brakes are uninstalled from the train and it just goes. So looking forward to it. All right, Mike, where can I find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at Captain K42. Check out my quick thoughts on letterboxd.com/CoachK42. And you can find me in all the Facebook groups just at my name. You can check out Renegade Pop Culture on Facebook and Twitter at Ren Pop Culture. Look for us on Podchaser. Listen to all of our podcasts on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc. And last but not least, everything can be found at renegadepopculture.com. You need to escape, so do we.
What's that?
You can follow me on Twitter at Keep1108.
All right. And you can find me everywhere at Organoid0. I will be streaming as soon as I have all my lag issues with the webcam figured out, because God loves new technology. Anyways, yeah, until next time, which sadly has to be a week. I would love to watch more tonight, but people got stuff going on. We will see you. Bye.
We have luck, apparently.
Peace.